Right, so there's been many instances of wrestlers who have walked out of their company and quit, but usually all these incidents happen behind the scenes. However, there have been rare occasions where it's actually happened mid-show or mid-match, and a wrestler has walked out of the show. Whether it be from refusing to work with their opponent, backstage troubles, or trying to work it into an angle, there have been many instances of wrestlers walking out of the company mid-match or mid-show. So I'm here to talk about a few of the most infamous cases today, so like the video as we talk about the first one, which actually involves the Maharaja, Jinder Mahal, and actually took place quite recently. So Jinder Mahal wrestled for an indie company called BCW against a guy called Masada on May 31st, and a Facebook post came out in the days following the match. I believe this is from Masada himself, his opponent, who in vague terms accuses Jinder Mahal of walking out of the match after coming to the venue with a written list of rules for what's not allowed to be in his matches, and they broke those rules.
Jinder Mahal wondering why the fans are starting to lose it. Masada has produced some skewers. Here comes Masada, and there goes the Maharaja. He's shook. The Maharaja is shook, and he's scared. There ain't a doubt about it. He wants his hand raised for what? For fleeing the match? The Maharaja, Jinder Mahal, he couldn't even escape the guardrail. He's talking about a Punjabi prison. Wait a second. Promoter Tim Embler, God, putting himself in harm's way there, trying to physically block the Maharaja from leaving, from walking out on this match. He's been paid for. His demands have been met. He should have to deliver a match to these people. This is, no, get out of here. You gotta be kidding me.
Get your fucking ass back in his ring, you fucking pussy bitch.
Real talk from Masada. Said it in ways my current contract would never allow me to. Very direct and to the point. I'm sure when the Maharaja gets back to the hotel, he'll have a scathing social media comment to unleash upon Masada. But Masada is the man standing in the ring, ready to fight. And it's the Maharaja who straight up ran away, fled Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, evacuated from the 2300 arena.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner as a result of a countout, Masada.
And this post very much makes it seem like this is an incident where Jinder Mahal has legit refused to work with someone and walked out of the match legitimately. And this post would start to catch some traction. However, Fightful Select would report that sources close to Jinder Mahal are saying that this is actually all one big work being orchestrated by the BCW promoter. Which is a strange way to do a work, but I think I figured it out. So Jinder Mahal isn't booked for any BCW dates going forward, which you think would make the thing more confusing, but to me, this makes it seem like Jinder Mahal didn't want to lose to Masada, so the solution they came up with was for Jinder Mahal to walk out of the match in a count-out finish. And since this is a one-time booking and Jinder Mahal isn't appearing forward to continue the story, they've had to go with this to make it seem like an actual exit, so there's reason for him to not return. It's a weird way to kayfabe it and work it into an angle, but that's just my personal theory. Anyway, outside of indie wrestling, this has happened before in WWE where wrestlers have just walked out of the match. Some quick examples I can think of off the top of my head that were caught on camera was Gail Kim in a battle royal in 2011 just rolled out of the ring on her own accord and eliminated herself in her final ever WWE appearance. And then there was the time that Jeff Hardy walked out of a live event randomly in his final WWE appearance for the time, in a moment that many speculated he was intoxicated in, but that has been refuted. And then who can forget the Bound for Glory incident from Bound for Glory 2018, as Austin Aries and Johnny Impact were feuding over the TNA World Championship, and their feud got a bit personal on social media when Austin Aries seemingly got very offended by Johnny Impact coming for his height and calling him short, which led to quite the social media tirade from Austin Aries and led to actual heat going into the match. And at the end of this match, after Austin Aries lost the title to Johnny Impact, Austin Aries would then sit up, walk out of the building, immediately no-selling what had happened, and was never seen in TNA ever again in an incident that left many people scratching their heads. It's something that Austin Aries has claimed to be an angle, but once again doesn't make any sense if he was to never return and just diminish Johnny Impact's title win here. I get the feeling that this was an angle to Austin Aries and nobody else, like nobody else was in on it but him.
There's your business. You happy? You happy? Good. See what that mother can do now.
You know, you're not a professional if you have to point out you're a professional. God damn it.
So, where do you want to start? How far back? I mean, because there's a lot. That's a funny thing. A lot of people are hitting me up afterwards, going, "Was it a work or a shoot?" I was like, "Yes." It's like, what part, man? Like, there's, listen, the best parts of wrestling is when you pull from realism. So, like, the part where I got up and walked off and fucked everyone off and shit, like, I didn't go into business for myself. Like, there were other people that were aware that was going to happen. There was a plan for me to return. It was my idea. It was an idea I pitched for a reason. It was that those people knew of, that needed to know. And
was it an idea that was approved?
By the people that needed to approve it and needed to know? Yes.
Was John in on this? I think is the biggest thing.
At the end? I'm not sure. I don't know if I told him that or not.
Well, then it sounds like no.
But it didn't matter for him.
Of course it mattered for him. This was his moment.
But yes and no. And we can get to that in more of the depth of that.
All right.
I do believe he knew, like, and to be fair, and I'll say this, we'll get to the whole story, but like watching it back, I see, well, people like fucking freaking out or whatever, but like, I could have done a couple things that would have maybe had it play a little different, that maybe would have been more to my liking, but it garnered the reaction and result I wanted. Like, let's be honest. Like,
people are talking about it still.
So let's. I mean.
And there's one more incident that I was able to think of, and that is one that actually I talked about quite recently, so if you've already seen this one, then don't worry at all. However, the Jim Duggan and Doink the Clown, aka Matt Bourne incident from an indie show in 2010 is one of the craziest and weirdest matches I've ever seen, with two guys who just clearly didn't want to work together whatsoever. And in the end, both men walked out of the match, and it never got finished. So yeah guys, thanks for watching this video, and enjoy watching that match as this video closes. Like and subscribe, I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, and keep on rolling.
The deviousness of him.
You know what, actually? Hassall's getting a little,
in the ropes. He's in the ropes. The referee should be in there.
All right, gentlemen.
Referee should, wow.
Let's step in there.
Let's go. You want to work? You want? Huh? Make your move, this. Get him, funny man. Come on.
Come on. You want to work? You want to fight? You want to work?
Just smash him with the wood, Duggan.
Tell me. You tell me. You tell me. You tell me. Come on.
Look in Hacksaw's eye is one of... And there's another lockup. So far, not really an offensive move out of Doink. Haven't seen him on offense too much.
Well, you know, apparently Doink, you know, just a couple of minutes ago went for a cheap shot on Hacksaw, and, you know, I mean, good grief, the guy carried it around for a reason. He's up for a lack of, you know, so let's get a guy a break.
Here's the sad part. You know, given Doink's heritage, his career is Matt Bourne, he has a solid wrestling background.
Well, right
the fact
now,
that he chooses not to use it.
He just took his solid wrestling background and went outside and got a ring from the crowd as Hacksaw goes for the 2x4. And it's 8 o'clock at a family event in White Plains, New York. This is not what I expected to see from the Legends. Hold on. What's going on here, Commish? Hold on. The commissioner's got to step up here and do something. Because now Doink's out there with his chair.
Go get him, Duggan!
And Hacksaw's walking away from the ring. Hacksaw is walking away from the ring.
I can't figure out what Duggan's doing.
Away.
Duggan never wanted to back down from a challenge. I can't figure out why he's going to the entranceway.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, referee Vinny Lax has counted both men out of the ring. This match is a double count-out.